Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me for Sealed and Protected, our energy healing webinar. And we're going to be talking about essential oils and how you can use them to really protect your energy field. One of the big things that I have been seeing is how everybody's just kind of walking around really open, and not open in a way that is, beautiful and loving and expansive, but really open in a way that is very, very dangerous in a way, because boundaries are not there. And it's not just about someone not being able to say no. It's very much about people not having energetic protection around them. And one of the big things that I have decided to do is that I want to make this information available to everyone, because no matter where you are energetically, this is stuff that's totally going to benefit you. And this is something that I really want to make sure you are really, really informed about. The information that I'm about to present to you today can potentially change your life. I've seen it happen in my own life, and I continue seeing it in the lives of my clients. Some of you might want more information at the end about working with me, and I'm going to share with you a very special discounted offer, so stay tuned for that. But how many of you are aware that there's an energetic shift going on right now? Like, there's a lot happening. If you've been kind of like wondering what's going on, why everything is going, why, if you've been paying attention to the media, why all of this like sudden madness, right, has come about, everything has to come up to the surface. And many of you may have been experiencing symptoms of this shift as well in your own life, meaning that things used to be really smooth, all of a sudden are chaotic, or you're starting to notice that you're a little bit more aware of changes, of energies that may have been kind of oblivious to you before. A lot of what's happening right now, we're going through this elevation transition. And it's an amazing time for us to witness the incredible changes that are happening to humanity as we're transitioning into this higher plane. The big thing for me is teaching you how to protect yourself energetically, because your awareness and your attention are key to raising the planetary vibration. And everything going on is draining, upsetting, and unsettling for a lot of people. I definitely don't want to come in here being like the Debbie Downer, but I do want to be a ray of hope and shed some light on what I'm understanding is happening. You definitely want to make sure that you are protecting yourself, because your birthright is to be in inner peace, in joy, and in abundance. Those are your birthrights, and I'm here to help you claim them permanently. Today we'll flow in the following order. I'll tell you a little bit about me and where I've been. We'll dive into what the ascension is and what has been asked of us right now. We'll talk about how to seal and protect your energy so you're not taken down by the storm that is taking place as we shift. We'll then dive into our healing session. We'll open it up to Q&A. And then for those of you who are interested in working with me at a very discounted rate, I'm going to share that at the end. So many people out there struggling just to make sense of what's happening at a personal level and at a collective level. Many are losing their senses of selves, and it can be pretty scary when you're pretty confident and all of a sudden you're feeling a little bit disconnected from yourself and what you've known to be true. The breakdown of the old self and the life can be from subtle to gentle to dramatic and intense. And it can feel like you're downright losing your mind. And some level, it's almost required. I've lost my mind, like severely lost my mind. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that later on. Basically, the dinosaur system that we have been living under is falling apart quickly, and we receive daily evidence from everything that is presented in the media. I personally don't watch TV, and I limit my exposure to negativity, as I now understand that my vibration is a really high commodity, and it's very important, and I'm going to encourage you to do the same. The more that you kind of feel helpless and hopeless and you go in that downward spiral, the more that you are assisting that energy. The more that you stay in your inner peace and in your hub and in your center, and you understand that everything is falling exactly the way that it needs to, and that you staying high vibe is the best way of you supporting everything, is really key. It is critical that we maintain ourselves in full service to love and to trust that it's all coming together exactly the way that it needs to. And I was born with a special healing gift. A little bit about me, in case you don't know me and you're brand new to my work. I was born with a special healing gift and psychic abilities. I also come from a lineage of medicine women, healers, dating back at least 3 generations, from my mother, my grandmother, great-grandmother, and so on. So this is in my blood, in my heart, and in my soul to do this loving work. More than that, I'm a living example and a testimony to the power of the human spirit and its ability to overcome obstacles and succeed against all odds. Although I don't consider myself a mega success in society's standards, I do consider myself highly successful in the fact that I have learned to cultivate the one quality that can never fail, and that quality is love. And the passion that comes into my life when I've let love take the wheel and steer, literally, and when I have been able to surrender, and I continue to do so every day, I learn to just let go, relax, and I am so taken care of. And that to me is definitely success. I teach people to intelligently and systematically cultivate and harness that passion with powerful and reliable keys that can unlock a person's greatness and genius. In my personal studies, I have had the privilege of discovering rare information that has allowed me to make what I feel to be a quantum leap in my own mental, emotional, and spiritual evolution reliably and repeatedly. And I think the key here is repeatedly for me, because I think there's a lot of systems out there that teach you a lot of stuff, but it's not duplicatable. So for me, the fact that it has been duplicatable has been a big deal. Part of this information includes the ancient understandings of spiritual traditions and the state associated with compassion, gratitude, bliss, and awe. I realize that I'm here as a transformation agent, and part of what I've learned and seek to share is how to use energy healing as a reliable tool for deepening one's relationship, your relationship to yourselves, to your loved ones, to your life, to your infinite source, universe, God, higher power, whatever you call that, source being. My mission is to empower individuals to take full responsibility for their existence at every level: mental, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, and to really finally understand that the enjoyment of life is achieved by investigating, discussing, and critically rethinking everything that we have assumed to be true about what it means to be happy, healthy, and prosperous. The most powerful tool that I have learned for facilitating transformation was that all life is connected and interdependent, that our frequency, our thoughts, and our emotions shape our reality. The choices that we make, including the resonance we might hold at any particular moment, deeply affects how powerfully we can engage in life as a fully present and active participant. So it's just kind of all of that. Like, most people, I feel, are really just kind of watching life go by. They're not fully participating in their experience. They're not fully co-creating. They're not really allowing themselves to feel their desires. They're not really allowing themselves to connect to that thing in them that's really wanting to come through and flourish. And that thing is in them that is asking them to be more than what they currently are. That thing in them that is asking them to expand and grow and really tap into that really intimate place of who you are at the deep soul level and authentically. So, externally, I know a lot of you already know this, but I was an accountant. Like, I've always been a high achiever. Not only did I grow up dancing, I was academically like an excellent student. I was always top of my class. I graduated top of my class. My decision was that I wanted to be extremely linear. I did an accounting gig for many years, and it was, really exhausting. I was working at the peak of that career, 60 to 80 hours, and it was just really, really something that I thought I had to do, and I didn't know how to be successful any other way. And I know that it wasn't satisfying, but I just thought something was wrong with me, because how could this not be right when I'm making this kind of money, when I have the prestige of this position, when I have what everybody claims is the right life. But I just thought something was wrong with me. And I convinced myself that I was just very hard to please, and that I was just like really impossible standards, and that, nothing would make me happy. And this was just a recurring thing that kept happening. And somehow deep inside, I wanted more. I just didn't know what more looked like, and I didn't know how to even tap into that part of myself, which is funny because coming from the background that I come from, you would think that that would be a lot easier for me than it would be for the average person. But in reality, it wasn't. So basically, that type of pressure, internal pressure, emotional pressure, combined with the external stress, landed me in the hospital. I was in there for a deep, nasty depression, exhausted and stressed, and just had to really take a good look at what my life was at that time. Not only that, but I started seeing things and hearing things. And at that point, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I didn't know that my gifts were awakening. I didn't understand that what was happening is that I was going through a shift in perception, which was really bringing all my gifts to the surface. So in a way, that was like the biggest thing and the most important thing that could have ever happened to me, was feeling that hopelessness and that helplessness was really like J.K. Rowling says, like the low point where I emerged and the rock bottom from where I built my life. The crisis turned out to be my greatest gift, and it was a huge wake-up call. It began the inward journey, and I started asking the really big questions to figure out what it was that made me truly happy and figure out what my passions were. And then I started observing everything around me. And I just really wanted to understand why this thing was coming through, because I can share with you that when I was in that quote unquote delusional state, everything that I was seeing was very much in contrast. And the one thing that I can tell you was that if I could control my thought, I could control my feelings. So if I was having a very negative thought, I was immediately going into a panic attack, and my heart would race and I would go hyperventilating, and it was full on, really dramatic. But I started noticing that if I didn't believe the thought, then the panic attack didn't happen, and that I could start controlling it from the inside. And from till this day is something that I practice daily. The other nugget that I got from being in that mental state was that there was this external voice constantly saying it just felt like my thoughts were being broadcasted out into the world. So I started playing with it, and it's like, so what are the best possible thoughts that I can have? Because if they are being broadcasted into the world, then I want to make sure that they're the best possible and the most uplifting, and that people are feeling really empowered by the things that I'm thinking, and that they're hearing me think. And that the moment that I felt I was thinking something negative about something or someone, that I went into Ho'oponopono, which a lot of you may or may not know, which is basically, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, which is a Hawaiian prayer for forgiveness and transformation. That's really what started everything. Once I understood that, one, I wasn't crazy, two, that my gifts were awakening, that I could control a lot of what I was experiencing from the inside, then it just kind of became my mission. After I was really able to figure it out, and I led myself to this transformation and this mental and emotional freedom, and I just gave myself the courage to follow my truest desires. This is how the feel-good shift came to be. Feel-good shift, meaning that everything that I was intending on doing had to be around feeling good. Because I didn't want to have another panic attack, because I didn't want to feel like a crazy person, because I didn't want to take medication, because I wanted to be as normal as I could possibly be, except that I felt it was an upgrade. So I feel better now than I have ever been. And I feel like it was definitely an upgrade, because I have never been the same in a very, very positive way. So the feel-good shift came to be to serve as a vehicle to meet people where they're at, wherever that may be, and help them make leaps inside themselves from the ordinary that they were programmed to accept to the extraordinary being waiting to be risen from within. Okay, so that's just a little bit about me and where I've been and why I do the work that I do, and why I'm so passionate about every single bit that I'm able to create. So we'll start. If you don't have your cheat sheet handy, the link is right in the chat box, so you can download that if you don't have it in front of you. And we're going to start with our Melaleuca, which is tea tree, right? And the beautiful thing about tea tree is that it is so underrated, so like incredibly underrated. Like most people that I know, depending on where you are, I live in California. So California is very known for all this alternative stuff, but Tea tree is something that most people that I know have in their homes. And the beautiful thing about tea tree is that it is the oil of energetic boundaries. It is better known as tea tree. It helps you release and clearing energetic hooks, cords, helping you fortify your energetic boundaries so you stand stronger in your power. It relieves you from mental, emotional stress, and once your new perspective is gained and the actions are taken. So this is really important if you tend to have relationships that are toxic. Like if you have a lot of people who are around you who are toxic and negative and just kind of tend to bring you down, and you're not really tapped into your power because it kind of sucked the energy out of you, a lot of these energetic vampires, you need tea tree. Like in your belly, around your shoulders especially, so that it creates that protection. I like tea tree around the belly because that's where most hooks tend to happen. Hooks and cords tend to be more often than not in your solar plexus. So tea tree around your solar plexus is like one of the best things that you can possibly do. If you have parasitic relationships, meaning people that are really clingy to you because they see your light and they don't know how to stand in their own power, you just put some of that tea tree on. If you have poor boundaries, if you don't know how to say no to people, if you're having a hard time really understanding how to stay in your power and how to honor your true desires and how to say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no, tea tree is the thing for you. On top of everything, you can use it for like, disinfecting. Tea tree has been really helpful in me balancing my skin, being super acne prone. It's a whole other conversation, but just really, really understanding that it is really powerful. And in the same way that it can keep bacteria away and fungus and all those things away, it also does the same thing for you energetically. So I want you to kind of register that way, that in the same way that it can physically get rid of things that are not supposed to quote unquote be there, same thing it does for you energetically. It gets rid of things that are not supposed to be on your energy field. Okay? Awesome. If you have questions, make sure that you write them down so that I can answer them for you when we get to the Q&A section. You can also raise your hand when we get there, and I'll tell you how when we get to the Q&A. The next one I want to go over is black pepper. And the reason black pepper is also at the top of my list is because it is so good. It is called the oil of unmasking, and it dispels pretty much any negativity. And this is the oil that you want to use to remove any entities, any kind of exorcism, anything that is an actual etheric being attached. Black pepper is the one. And I'm going to give you another one later on when I go over these top 5. There's another one that's really powerful for this. But this one, it's really about helping you stand stronger in your power and relieving you of mental, emotional stress and bringing it in a way that protects you and your electrical energy flow throughout your entire body. It just basically gives you energy too, because the moment that those things get away from you, you're more in your power. You all of a sudden have all this clarity and all this energy to really do the things that you're wanting to do. So I'm going to really, really recommend that you have black pepper in conjunction with tea tree. You can take everything that I'm giving you today, and you can take one roller bottle and you can throw it all in there, and that can just be like your go-to in your purse. I have a roller in my purse that I take with me everywhere. I also have a mini bottle of tea tree on its own that I take with me everywhere. And I have an insane collection of oils because I believe in plant consciousness. And the more that we are leaning towards technology and moving away from plants and the natural world, having the oils with me always makes me feel like I can access that realm at any point I want. Anytime I feel I need support, as long as I understand which oil is supporting me, whichever way. Sometimes they just call me out and I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I want like cilantro, all of a sudden I want lemon, or all of a sudden I want, geranium or whatever. Sometimes they call me, but sometimes it's just kind of like having them around because I know what I need and I know which one is going to give it to me. Black pepper, going back to that, is if you're feeling trapped, this is the oil for you. If you're feeling suppressed emotions, this is the oil for you. If you're feeling really superficial, if you're around people who don't know how to be themselves and are kind of fake, this is the oil of unmasking. It means it takes the mask off. It takes whatever is not your true self or your true energetic blueprint, and it removes it. So another really powerful one. Clove is the next one on my picks, and kind of in this order too. So just so you know, I'm kind of going through them in the order that I think it's most relevant. Clove is the oil of boundaries, literally. But clove specifically is more for feeling like a victim, feeling codependent, and feeling the fear of rejection. So while the other two kind of remove the energy from other people doing that to you, this is about you standing in your power and not doing that to other people. Does that make sense? So there's a slight difference. The other two, the black pepper and the tea tree in Melaleuca, they kind of keep other people's energies out. The clove makes sure that you are not doing that to other people, that you're not being the victim, that you're not clinging to other people, that you're not being codependent, that you're not overly needy, that you're standing in your power, that you're understanding who you are so that you don't need to go into those other extremes. It takes away the jealousy, which is another reason why people feel disempowered or they feel fearful of rejection. They immediately become jealous. So this is another great oil for that. This is really good to just have around for ritual cleanses, for driving away negativity, for producing really high vibrations. It was funny because before I knew this about clove, I had a bottle with me and I always liked it. I just never knew why I liked it so much. And I would always put it in my hair. Like I love the smell of clove. Like I love walking by people and they could smell like the clove smell coming out of my hair. And I still do it. But now that I understand it's like really good energetic protection, I have like another layer for loving it even more. So this is also, if you are feeling like down on yourself, like you feel like you can't achieve that you're wanting and you're really stuck in that victim mentality of like, poor me, this is a really good oil in your solar plexus as well. You can use it just about anywhere. If you tend to have tension more around your shoulders, or like if you're feeling down on yourself, it's more around your shoulders, then that's where you put it. But I really want you to connect to your own bodies so that you understand what's the most effective application for the oils for you. And if you have questions, remember, that's what I'm here for. The pepper, Cheryl, usually the top of the head. Great question, by the way. If you're doing the pepper, crown of the head, third eye, or down the spine. Those are my three top spots. If the hook is, or it's usually for removing entities, those are the three places that I would want them to go. So if you're doing the black pepper for removing energetic stuff, at the top of the head, third eye, and down your spine, like trying to cover the entire length of your spine from the base of your skull all the way down to your sacrum, down to your tailbone. Does that answer the question? Yeah, you can type in the questions. That's a lot easier for me to answer as I'm going through. Otherwise, you can wait till the Q&A and I'll put you on the line and then we can have a short conversation. Same thing when we get to the energy healing part. If there's something specific that you want me to work on with you, my pleasure. If there's something that you want me to work on with you, then wait till we get there and then we can work one-on-one, okay? So the next one on my list is frankincense. Frankincense is kind of like the granddaddy, the Cadillac of oils. Like, it's just so well known. Like, out of all the essential oils, I think this one is the most prolific and the most notorious and the one that most people are drawn to as it being truly sacred. Depending on which part of the world and which traditions you follow, this is a really, really powerful one as well. So frankincense is the oil of truth. That means that it's going to help you connect to your truth, and anything that is not part of your truth, it is going to protect you against. So this is for protection, for spiritual disconnected. So if you're feeling a little bit disconnected from your higher self, from source, from anything like that, it's a fatherly energy. I don't know how to explain it. There's patchouli. It's a little bit more of a motherly energy. Frankincense is more of a fatherly energy. I don't know if that makes sense. If you have questions about that, let me know. If you're feeling abandoned, if you're feeling like you're all on your own, like you have to do life by yourself, like it's not okay for you to ask for help, if you're feeling like this is like the world is so hard and you don't know how you're going to make it day to day or something like that, or you are fully deceived, because the truth is that you are immensely powerful, that you are this vibrant spiritual being. So anything that is a lie, that is not allowing you to connect to your highest truth about how you are this magnificent divine being, frankincense is going to help you eliminate. So it's one of the pricier oils, and it's so recommended. I love frankincense like beyond, and it's really good for your skin too. So if you want a little extra reason why frankincense should be in your cabinet, is because not only does it smell great, and it has like amazing properties against stuff that isn't good for you, it's also really good for your skin. There's other studies, which I'm not going to get into, that really relate frankincense with a lot of cancer research. So if you wanted to look into that, it's beyond the realm of what I'm going to cover here, but I'm going to throw you that bone in case you wanted to look into that yourself. So frankincense is really good at keeping high vibrations. Keeping high vibrations. So it'll protect you once you have removed the gunk. Does that make sense? So once you have removed the gunk, then frankincense is the oil to keep you high vibe. There are others. I'm just giving you like the top 5 so that we're not complicating the conversation, and so that we're keeping it to oils that everybody's familiar with. Okay, awesome. The next one is lemon. Now, lemon is another one that is so underrated. Lemon oil is relatively inexpensive, and it's so wonderful. Like whether you have a runny nose or your throat is feeling funny or whatever, it's really good for you in general. If you don't squeeze lemon into your water in the morning, you can take like oil and put it in your water, and you're going to get the benefits. It's kind of awesome. But lemon at the energetic level is the oil of focus. Oil of focus. That means that psychically, mentally, when you're feeling cloudy, when things are not coming together the way that you want them to, when things are feeling like you're super scattered or confused or anything like that, this is your oil. When you're feeling confusion, guilt, mental fatigue, when you're feeling like you're frazzled, when things are coming at you too quickly and you're like, okay, I don't know which way to go. I don't know if I should do A or B or C. Oil of lemon. This is like the thing to cut through all that noise and really know exactly what the next step is for you. Powerful, powerful stuff. Spiritually, lemon acts as a psychic cleanser. So if you're one of those people that you're really good at taking in ideas, but you don't know how to discern which ones are the best ones for you, which ones to apply for your life or for your business or for whatever it is that you're doing, this is the oil to keep you really understanding what needs to happen and to cut through procrastination, because procrastination happens because you're confused. You don't take action usually because you're not clear which step to take. Once you know the steps to take, it's kind of like use the lemon to then expedite. A little tangent, if you want to do lemon with eucalyptus, it creates such a synergy to get you into action. It's kind of crazy. Like whenever I'm working on projects and I really want to get the energy moving, it's lemon and eucalyptus. It smells great. And it's like, I get things done in like a fraction of the time. It's kind of crazy, Pam. So just putting that out there in case that you are needing some motivation and some higher energy. Okay, so those are our basic oils. We went through your melaleuca, your tea tree. We went through black pepper. We did clove, we did frankincense and lemon. That's really what's on your sheet. And I also threw in wild orange. The reason I threw in wild orange is because wild orange is the oil of abundance. So if you don't know that, I'm giving it to you now. The oil of abundance, wild orange, it grows and grows and grows. And it's like there's oranges everywhere. If you've ever been around like a wild orange tree, like it doesn't care that it already gave you fruit. It's going to continue producing fruit. Like it's such a beautiful symbol of abundance. And what it does in conjunction with the oils is that it enhances the energies of all the oils. So if you mix any of the oils with wild orange, everything just kind of magnifies. So if you want to do lemon, eucalyptus, and throw a little wild orange in those, you're just going to be like a production machine. You're just going to be able to cut through and do so much stuff. So just throwing it out there in case that you had, that you needed that extra boost. Same thing with using it with like tea tree. Like if you combine wild orange and tea tree, it's gonna like really make sure that everything shifts out. The other piece that I wanted to mention about wild orange is that if you use it on your tailbone, it's really good for manifesting abundance, my financial abundance specifically. So just another bow in your way as to how magical these oils really are. Two bonus oils that I wanted to mention today are petitgrain, which is the oil of ancestry. And this is something that I'm constantly working on with my clients, is that they get stuck with inherited limitations. That means that it comes down from their lineage, it comes down from their families. So petitgrain cuts off the repeating family mistakes, meaning you're not recreating your father's stuff, you're not recreating your mother's stuff, you're not recreating your grandparents, you get to let go of the stuff from your family that doesn't serve you, and you get to pick what does and hold on to that while honoring them. So what we want to do is honor your family without sacrificing who you truly are. For those of you stuck in familial patterns, are unable to make your own decisions, perpetuating the outcomes of your progenitors and your ancestors, this is the oil for you. Any family mistake, any excessive clinging to your family, like this is another thing that I have to work on intensely with clients, is that they feel extremely obligated, overly obligated to their parents, to their children sometimes, where it becomes unhealthy and they're not taking care of themselves because they're constantly giving themselves away to everyone, or they can't make their own decisions because, mom is going to disapprove, or uncle's going to disapprove, or I'm going to be exiled from my family, or whatever the story is. Petitgrain, 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 petitgrain. There's no reason for you not to stand in your own power. And the thing with the family stuff is that you have to be consistent with it, because you can't disconnect from your family, literally. Like, they're going to be a part of you for the rest of your life, but you need that protection. You need to be able to let them go lovingly so that you can honor them, but honor yourself in that process, and really connect to your voice and really connect to who you are at the soul level. That's really the goal of everything. So if you know anyone that's like, weirdly codependent on like their family, this is a really good oil to recommend for them. And the last one that I want to cover is oregano. Now, if there's an oil that is really weird, oregano is really strong, and it has a smell that not a lot of people understand. Cheryl, the petitgrain is kind of, I would do it on your tailbone mainly, because that's where your family stuff is. It's kind of like your root chakra. I would definitely apply it there. If you need more, then I would do it definitely around the belly. The belly is always going to be a good place to apply oils, by the way. Like, if you're not sure, go for the belly. If you need something else, then around the wrist is always good. For petitgrain, for you, I would definitely do it on the third eye, Cheryl. I think putting it here and really connecting to that, it's going to help you immensely, you personally. Of course, other people can use that too, but you personally, I would definitely want you to put it on your third eye and start letting go of, like, that over dependence on the family. Let me know. We can talk in a few minutes too when we get to that point. Thanks for asking. The oregano is the other one. Oregano is one of those things where it doesn't smell very pleasant, right? It's not pretty like the other oils. And I'm not going into any flowery stuff, because the flowery stuff, it's really good for like when you already feel good, to enhance that. But when you're not feeling amazing, we need to stay with these very herbaceous oils, which are the foundations. And because they're so abundant, they're really, really supportive at a very intricate level. It's not like when you're dealing with like arborvitae, which is like one big tree. These herbs, because they grow so fast, wait, let me see if I can explain it to you. It's like the way that they grow. Like, I want you to think of like lemon, how lemon is really everywhere and it's very common and it's kind of everywhere. Lemon's consciousness understands how we're doing as humans because it's interacting with us at that deeper level. So it's easy for the lemon consciousness to come in and kind of help us out. Does that make sense? When you're dealing with something that's a little bit more obscure, where it's a little bit more removed from our day-to-day life as humans, it tends to not be as effective cleansing because it doesn't understand our human day-to-day. I know that's a little bit more advanced, but some of you might get that. It's like the more common the stuff is interacting with us, the more that you know the plant, the more the plant kind of knows you. It's kind of like lavender. Everybody knows lavender, right? That's the thing. Lavender grows so abundantly, and its consciousness is closer to us than other things that might be a little bit more advanced, which might come to help us at a later stage or when we're already feeling pretty tapped into our power. I'll explain more of that in another call. But oregano is, if you know anyone who is prideful, if you know anyone who is overly materialistic, anyone who is rigid, this is the oil for them. Oregano is the oil of humility and non-attachment. So if you know anyone that is extremely pompous, that is so full of themselves that they don't know how to like look at another person without feeling like they have to compare and contrast or put someone down or put themselves down or whatever that dance is of ego, oregano's the thing. Slices through the ego, right through it. Belly, third eye. That's pretty much it. Oregano is a very intense oil. I would definitely want you to dilute it. If you dilute any of the oils, you are not going to get less than you already do from applying it neat, as we call it. If you apply it directly, that's great. Oregano can burn. So be very careful. Just a quick tangent. My boyfriend was not feeling good the other day, and I gave him oregano, and I usually mix it in the water for him, but I gave him the bottle, and instead of him mixing it in the water and then drinking it, he put it on his wrist, and he took it directly. It literally burnt his lip. And, you know, like I forgot to give him like the disclaimer, and he just went for it. And yeah, so I want to be really, really, really adamant about the way that you use the oils. And if you have sensitive skin, always do a spot test. And if you need to dilute it, please dilute it. And if you're going to take something internally, please make sure that you read the label and make sure that it is safe for internal consumption. And always consult your physicians, because I want you to stay thriving and healthy. Awesome. So the beauty about the oils is that it's not something that just works for me. It works for everyone. Like if you start using it and you stay on top of this, it keeps you at a really, really cool level. The reason I start with these oils is because they're so foundational. I want everybody to know about them because, one, they're easy to access. Two, they're so extremely helpful. And three, the more that you have energetic boundaries, the more that you understand who you are, the more that you understand what your path is, and the more likely you are to step into your power and into your path. And we need more of that right now. Like we're so desperately needing more of that right now. We need more people who are connected to themselves at the higher level. So this is me doing what I feel is my part in raising the awareness and raising the vibration of the planet. So it's not something that just worked for me. So it's just what it is. Of course, there's multiple blocks and there's the other stuff that might be working against you. But if your energy field is sealed, then you're not taking on more than what's already there. So this is kind of like, okay, let's cut off the nonsense and start healing the patterning. And then let's figure out what else needs to be removed and how we can move out of that negative patterning in that situation. So I'm going to give you a little bit of what to do, because you must learn to use and trust your intuition. And we are going through really, really interesting times. So I'm going to share with you 3 things. Number 3, there's a new world emerging based on love, service, and passion. I know it doesn't look like it based on what the media is presenting, but I can assure you that underlying all of the stuff that's coming out, it's like when people feel worse before they feel better, that's what's happening with the system right now. It's like everything looks bad, but everything is healing really quickly because everything that needs to be healed is rising up to the surface. So that's part of it. Number 2, abundance is a state you reach as a result of your spiritual journey. One of the big things that I have a little bit of an issue with is everybody telling you that you can just go out and work really hard and make a lot of money. Your abundance comes from within. The moment that you're tapped into abundance, it just comes to you. Not that you don't have to work for it, but it becomes a lot easier for you to flow so that you can become more in tune with who you truly are at the soul level. Like, you're meant to be abundant. You're meant to be healthy and peaceful, and those are your birthrights. So anything that isn't that just means that something has gone wrong. Like the Course of Miracles says, if miracles aren't happening, something has gone wrong. And I'm here to help you connect to your miracles. And number one, in a vibrational world, energy healing is the quickest frequency lifter and accelerator, meaning that if you are stuck, you can go through psychotherapy, you can go through any kind of coaching, you can go through a lot of stuff. Nothing is going to move you faster than energy healing. I have seen it time and time again, how people have been stuck for years in the same pattern. And the moment that they do energy healing, everything just turns around, and all of a sudden they understand that where they have been missing the mark, and they know exactly what to do to correct course. That's what I do. I work with people every day to help them embody this reality and watch them transform and blossom into the person they've always wanted to be. Except now they kind of believe it, see it, act on it, and achieve it. And it's really magical, beautiful, and miraculous when you see people tapped into their powers and so committed and so clear on who they are that nothing's really getting in the way. My desire is to eliminate as much scarcity as I can in my lifetime, meaning you don't understand how to be abundant, you don't understand that you are abundance, and you don't know how to claim that every single day of your life so that you're living and thriving and really connecting to that space. So I have my signature program, Spark Your Divine Fire. And of course, we're not going to get into that just yet, but we are going to do some energy healing. Okay, so I just want you to really ground into your space and connect. So you're welcome to close your eyes. I'm just going to feel into what's being called for me and for all of you in this group today. And we're just going to bring in, okay, before we continue, a lot of you are stuck around the throat. So let's just start clearing some of that. I might be triggering some of this stuff. Most people that are around me kind of start feeling things shift. So that's okay. Just breathe into it. Awesome. And just allowing yourself, give yourself permission, whatever's ready to be released, let's release that now. Keep breathing. Keep breathing into your belly, specifically into your belly. A lot of you are carrying a lot of stuff around your shoulders and your neck. And just keep breathing. So a lot of what we're doing right now is whatever's keeping these boundaries from really coming in and being fully established, we're doing that now. You are all an intense group. Keep breathing. Releasing a lot of like that mental fog and mental fatigue. A lot of you are so tired. Yeah, a lot of you are just givers. Give, 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 give. And just balancing that out. It's not sustainable. And please give yourselves permission to let other people help and other people to take care of you. Yeah, and a lot of you are going to need ongoing protection. Get some tea tree ASAP. And wear it like every day in the morning before you go anywhere. Put some tea tree around your belly and let's start creating some energetic boundaries. So this isn't a one-time deal. This isn't, oh, I'm going to use the oil once and it's going to be done. We have to build up. So every time you apply it, it's just creating a deeper layer of protection against people. Or whenever you're feeling like a little out of sorts, take it out and use it and you'll notice the difference. Or any of the oils that we have mentioned today, particularly tea tree, melaleuca, black pepper, and oregano. And of course, petitgrain if you need that family stuff to be cleared. And then you don't have to wait for someone to help you with your energy, but you can take charge and be fully in control of what's happening inside of you and how you're showing up for yourself and for the rest of the world. All right, my loves, take a final deep breath here. And exhale. Whew. A lot of you are really in your headspace. Trying to get you out of that overthinking stuff. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just seeing questions. Yeah, so I'm just looking at some of the comments from earlier. Amanda, the black pepper, I think I mentioned. So you wanted top of the head, third eye, down the spine, and the clove is so yummy. Same thing. The clove is mostly around the belly. And anywhere it feels good to you. If you like the smell, go nuts. I'm not going to tell you put it just in one place in your body. I like it on my wrists and on my belly. Those are like the two places where I feel like it really supports me. Okay, let me close this. All right, so now is when, so you should have an option of raising your hand. If you would like to raise your hand and speak to me directly about something that's going on directly, you can do so. I'm trying to remember how you do it. But if you have a question, you can, there's a little raise your hand option. If you go down and you hit more at the bottom, it'll give you the option of going in there. Okay. Not all at once. Just know that the stuff that I'm sharing with you today is very much about you tapping into your own power. Like, I want to empower you as much as I can so that you are connected to this energy yourself, so that you don't need other people managing your energy on a day-to-day basis, so that you can take charge of this. A lot of people don't take the time out to like sit down and meditate for 5 minutes, but you can have an oil and you can take the top off and you can sniff it and you can put a little bit on and then go about your day, and it's supporting you. The more informed you are, the more tools that you have, the better it's going to be, the better that you're going to feel, the better everything is going to play for you. So I want to give you as many tools as I can so that you feel empowered and connected and really, really tapped into your power. Okay? Awesome. So give me a little feedback about how you're feeling today, how you're feeling right now after we did our session. A lot of you are still carrying stuff on your shoulders. That means that you're taking on more than you need to, and we need to learn how to ask for help and delegate. Because there's no need for you to do everything that you're doing. Like, we really need to connect you in a way that feels way better. Awesome. So this is kind of the deal. When you're tapped into abundance, is that you're not worried about anything material, not about the bills, not about the mortgage, not about how to pay them, not about anything. Like, you're really, really tapped into your needs and desires. I see you, Cheryl. Cheryl, can you hear me? I think I need to unmute you. Maybe you need to unmute yourself. Panelists? Cheryl, there you are. Cheryl, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, awesome.
Oh, yay. I resonated with pretty much all the oils. I've used tea tree and black pepper and frankincense, a little bit of the orange and a little lemon. And I'm a huge fan of oregano.
Okay, good. Me too.
I'm wondering, you mentioned kind of combining them.
Yeah.
Is there any of the ones you've shared today that you wouldn't recommend combining all? I would probably hold off maybe on the oregano just because of its intensity, but I'm wondering, with everything else, could they all go together? I know sometimes you maybe get overpowering, but it didn't sound like necessarily that would happen.
It wouldn't necessarily. Here's what I would do, Cheryl, is all of them can go together. I would not throw frankincense in there.
Okay.
I would leave the frankincense out. Like, all of the other oils will work really beautifully in sync to help you clear your energy. I want you to use the frankincense to lift you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so for clearing and protection, the blend of all, and then frankincense separately.
Yeah, and the thing is too, with the other oils, frankincense is a premium oil, as I like to call them. So you want to be really mindful of how you use it and when you use it. Other than that, it's kind of free for all. You get to use them how you feel inspired. The other thing about the oils is that lemon is photosensitive, so you don't want to wear it where you're going to be exposed to the sun.
Okay.
So if you are planning on wearing it somewhere where you're going to be exposed to the sun, it's 12 hours before you can be out in like broad daylight without risking the chances of being burned, specifically where the oil is.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Great question. All right, so I'm muting Cheryl. Anyone else have a question? Questions? Yay, nay. You can raise your hand. If you're not wanting to like tell the world about what's going on with you, that's okay. You can always email me and I can always address the questions for you individually. So going back to being tapped into your abundance is you want to make sure that you're not worrying and that you're not feeling held back. Like, when you are tapped into that creative field and you have access to making things happen, it's like a rocket. Like, all of a sudden you're here and then you start making all these quantum leaps in your life in the direction of what you're desiring. What happens is we don't know how to give ourselves permission. And a lot of us are stuck energetically in stuff that keeps us from experiencing synchronicities and serendipities and really understanding how the universe is supporting us in carrying out our purpose and living out our message and really helping other people achieve the things that we have. And we often don't understand what those gifts are or how to even connect to those energies so that we can build and be in a more harmonious, healthy, happy life. Remember that this is all about you staying in this power. You can use the oils, you can use breath work, you can do journaling. There's so many things that you can use. And I'm aware that my services are not the only things in which you can access this flow. I'm all about flow. If I'm out of flow, I know I'm somewhere my perception has gone wrong. So applying all the principles is really important. I've worked with, with Maribel, who said that working with me was like a wow experience, how she had never felt more heard and understood, and how she was able to see clearly what was holding her back, and now she's building the business that she was always desiring. The same thing with Shannon. She worked with me, and like, I'm really flattered when they're able to understand what my gift is, because I'm able to see into people in ways that is part of my soul purpose. I have been doing this subconsciously ever since I was a little girl, and now it's very much on purpose, because I feel I'm on a bit of a mission to really help you all expand. And focusing on you creating and having clarity and really tapping into yourselves so that you can expand and so that you can feel more amazing. So if you are interested in working with me, I am definitely offering you a discounted rate. I really want you to be ready to be in your birthright and God-given power. I want you to be ready to discover who you really are and the best version of yourself possible. I want you to be able to ask the universe for what you truly want and trust that it's already on its way. And I want you to embrace being big love and being infinite power. What comes with that is clarity. What comes with that is expansion. What comes with that is you moving closer in the direction of your desires. And a lot of you don't understand why you're stuck. This is where I come in. Clarity is my jam. Me seeing into your energy field and letting you know exactly why you're stuck, and then helping you remove the reasons why you're stuck. A lot of stuff is lineage stuff. Sometimes it's ancestry stuff. Sometimes it's coming down like your dad's side of the family. Sometimes it's coming down your mom's side of the family. Sometimes it's stuff that you picked up when you were like 5 years old. Sometimes it's stuff that you've been carrying since high school. It doesn't matter. The thing is, if I can see it, I can remove it. So I really want to be able to support you if you're feeling called to working with me. If you go through my website, my 30-minute session is $370. I would like to offer you my founding rate, which was $97 for the 30-minute session. This isn't something that I advertise to the public, because I'm not interested in having a bunch of, $97 sessions, because I understand what I deliver. I understand what I bring to the table, the level of clarity, the level of understanding, and the energy healing gift that I have been, blessed with. So I really can't make this a better deal than what it is. If you need a payment plan, I'm happy to do that for you. And if you like to sign up, I'm going to put the link is bit.ly/97sparkfire. And you can sign up for that now. It'll give you a link to my schedule, and you can book yourself right into my calendar. Or if you need some kind of arrangement, I'm happy to do that as well. But I want you to know that the oils are one thing to help you sustain. If there's things that you're struggling with, or you've been struggling with for a long time and you don't know how to get past them, this is where I would like to offer you my services, so that I can create a quantum leap for you, so that you're using the oils to support the change that we create together. If that sounds good, the link is there. You can always reach out to me later and tell me that you were on the webinar and that you would like to take advantage of this offer. This is for anyone. I'm not going to close it out just to first-time clients. So if you've worked with me in the past and this is something that's feeling good to you, by all means, sign up. 30 minutes of a reading, energy healing, and actionable steps, knowing what to do next so that you are moving closer to your dreams. Cool? Awesomeness. Any questions? I'm going to leave it open for a few more minutes in case any of you have any additional questions, anything that might be coming up, anything that you want to share with the group. I think a few of you, may have emailed me. I'll get to those emails as soon as I can. All right. So if you're feeling shy, hi, give me 1 second. I see you, Cheryl. Give me 1 second. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. Can
Hi.
you can hear me?
I can.
I just want to give you a live testimonial because since my session with you in, I think it was February, so much has shifted. If anybody is on the fence about working with Erica, I would say give yourself an amazing gift and do it. I have suffered from so much, and I've done a lot of energy work and healing, and the time with Erica was just deeply, deeply profound. So highly recommend her.
Cheryl, you just made my day. Thank you so much. So much love to you. Thanks.
So much to you. Thank you.
All right, my loves, that was so unexpected. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm feeling like my heart is a little bit fuller and more expanded. So yeah, just kind of want to throw it out there. This is going to be only for the top 5. I'm going to open it up for 5 people. This is the work of my heart. This is, again, not something that I'm doing regularly. The intensive is $1,500, and this is like the lowest price point in which you can actually come and work with me. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend that if this is something that you're considering, that you take advantage of it. I'm not going to be offering this too much longer. I'm going to be expanding my business in this summer. I'm planning my next launch right now, so my time is going to be even more limited. So I'm just giving you heads up. I love what I do. I see people shift, like Cheryl, like many of you who have worked with me in the past, and it's the love of my heart. I am so excited to be able to deliver what I deliver, to be able to bring the clarity, to create these shifts, to create momentum for you, to give you the clarity, to do all those things so that you know who you really are and you know how to thrive in your life in ways that you may not have considered in the past. So if you're not sure, if you're sitting on the fence, shoot me an email. We can always have a short conversation just to see if this is something that you want to move forward with. But yep, just urging you to take advantage. So you've learned about the oils today. We went through Melaleuca, tea tree. We went through black pepper. Yeah. We went to frankincense. We did clove. We did lemon. We also threw in petitgrain, and we threw in oregano. So all of these oils are really magical. Go get some. If you're not sure where to get them, let me know. I do sell them myself. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, I can send you a bundle for a discounted rate. So that's also something that we can work out. But you can get these anywhere. Like, I'm not going to pitch myself when I know that you can access the oils wherever you like. So sending you love. The session, the link is with this. If you're having questions, let me know. Sending you all love. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on the call today, and for showing up for yourselves. This is really me delivering you. All right, loves. Mwah. Many blessings. I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Be on the lookout for my next webinar, which I'm not sure when it's going to be, but thank you for coming here and sharing some time with me this Saturday afternoon. Love and blessings. Ciao for now.